Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches! Best and worst of 2023.
A 2023 wrap-up.
Yeah, there you go.
But first things first.
Yes, shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gets you ad-free early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. Thank you all for your support. A year's worth of support for some.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so thank you all. Second thing second, make sure to subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Letterboxd. So, like we did last year, we decided we would make a list of our favorite and least favorite, and ironically favorite, movies of the year.
Yes.
And it sounds like Avaryl has once again watched a bunch of movies not from this year. I mean, I guess I have as well. I just didn't make a list of them.
Yeah, I don't think this year this is the best movies of the year and the worst movies of the year. For me,
just favesies.
It's what movies did I enjoy the most, what movies did I enjoy the least, which is a different thing.
It is a different thing. That is true. That is true.
I'm preparing people for my worst list.
Oh, hot takes.
Hot takes.
I would say,
yes,
overall, our overarching take on 2023, not a good year.
I think there was a lot of variety. I was spoiled for choice. I'll say this up front. How exciting a world we're living in that multiple female directors are on both my best and worst list.
Sure, love it.
What a world, right? I mean, I'm joking, but I'm also serious.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that kind of amazing?
Right, yeah, I love that.
Some of my absolute favorites and absolute least enjoyed movies were directed by women.
There you go. I think what for me felt like there was not a spoiled for choice.
Okay.
Was that all of the Oscar buzzy award-winning films, not all, but most, are like annoying biopics by like...
Okay, another caveat. I swore off Marvel movies years ago. I have sworn off biopics now.
Right.
Although I did see Ferrai with my dad, but I don't know if that really counts because it was very narrow. Anyway, it wasn't great. So I made the right choice in swearing them off. So when you do that, there's just really not a lot to choose from.
That was like, for me, this year when I was looking at the list of films, I was like, don't care. Did I go see Napoleon? No, because I didn't care.
Right.
Did I want to sit in a theater for 3 hours and watch him not speak in any sort of thing related to a French accent or France at all?
I enjoy my meals. I do. Destiny has brought me here. Destiny has brought me this lamb chop.
I mean, a running theme for me for this year, so I turned off the Napoleon trailer. A running theme for me this year, I just turned off the movies that I wasn't interested in anymore. And it wasn't because I rage quit. It was just because they were...
Apathy quit.
So a lot of the movies on my worst list are movies that I turned off.
Wow, yeah, so there you go. I still have a hard time doing it.
Turning off. This year it kicked in. I really used to just suffer through it. And I said, why?
Why?
It's not even interestingly bad. Well, should I tell you the list of films that I turned off?
Okay, great, yes. Dishonorable mention.
Dishonorable mention. I turned off A Haunting in Venice. It wasn't even as bad as...
Well, Gal Gadot wasn't there with enough champagne to fill the Nile.
And enough champagne to fill the Nile.
Champagne!
Well, okay, so it's based on a very dark and weird Agatha Christie book.
Right.
And I don't know why they chose it to adapt, because they had to change everything because the book is too dark. So
it was a horror, right? Or it was more horror elements.
Spookier. It was less travelogue, whatever, even though it was in Venice. So I just turned it off.
Did you get to at least see Michelle Yeoh?
Yes. She was there. She was like a psychic. It looked bleak and tragic.
Pale and tragic.
I was like, I'm fine. I don't care.
I think I'm, as well as Marvel movies, for me, I swore off Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, wow.
Agatha Christie.
Okay, just that specific. Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
I don't like him. I don't like what he's done with them.
No, I fixed it.
Okay.
We recast Brendan Fraser
as
Poirot, and we get a new director. Okay. I turned off Slotherhouse. That sloth.
Oh, the sloth.
Look, it wasn't even that bad. I was actually surprised at how good it was. And then I said, I don't care.
Okay.
It slowed down.
Okay.
I turned off What Happens Next, the Meg Ryan directed rom-com with her and David Duchovny. Again, it was fine.
So maybe I'll watch it.
And I saw where it was going, and I said, I don't care.
Oh.
My mom picked that one. She turned that one. She was like, should we keep watching this? And I was like, I don't think so.
Wow.
It's not great.
Okay.
I can't do fine anymore. Either be fucking weird and bad or, interesting. Anyway, I turned off a movie called Brooklyn 45 because Ann Dowd was in it. And I was like, I'll try to watch this. It was like a weird seance-y, low budget, World War II. We're all meeting back from the war to talk about grief. It was all right. No, it wasn't. I turned it off. Okay. I turned off Perpetrator, the Alicia Silverstone horror something. I didn't make it to Alicia. Apparently she's really camping it up.
This is not your stuff.
You want me to give it back?
I want you to eat it.
And
Well, of
is
course.
doing a great job. It was...
Fuck you!
It's funny, my tolerance for turning off shark movies is so much higher. It's
that's
like
what
such
I
a
don't
high
understand.
bar. It was this year too, I really leaned into the turning off. It was Saw-ier than I thought it was gonna be, and I just said, it wasn't the right time.
Okay.
I turned off Renfield
Ah.
because the tone is my least favorite tone, which is that jokey, not quite dark, not quite, it's an in-between tone. And I said,
I feel like I
know where
would
this
watch
is
it for
going,
Nicolas
and
Cage, but
again, it wasn't bad.
interesting.
I just said, I don't like this. I turned it off. So those are the movies I turned off.
Wow.
Shall we do the least favorite first?
Sure.
Least favorite of the year first?
Yeah.
I think this is the worst. Or should we save it? We should save it. We should save it. Okay. What else is on the list? It's a Wonderful Knife. I didn't like it, and I thought it failed at what it was attempting, and that made me mad. Maybe I do.
I was going to say that was at the bottom of my
Film,
list.
but the cast was fun.
Well, yes, sure. Were they?
Yeah. It was a piece of shit.
Susan Sarandon was fun.
Oh my, okay.
It was bad.
It was bad.
I have a lower or higher tolerance for
Diane
Keaton. That helps.
Well, maybe I do was on my list.
Great.
Haunted Mansion.
Oof.
I should have left the theater. That was one of those. It was really a why are we still here? We should be gone. I don't want to watch any more weird product placement of sorts.
Apparently, she stopped off to get some ice cream, a little Baskin Robbins. She got into an accident, and about 20 minutes later, she was gone.
The dialogue was perhaps one of the worst scripts I've ever seen presented on film. It was awful.
Yeah.
I gave it a half a star on Letterboxd. That might be too much. I don't think that it's an incomplete. Everyone is
And yet
now
you
dumber
didn't-
for having
seen it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And yet you didn't turn it off. I mean, you didn't.
I didn't leave
but-
the theater because
but-
I don't know. It doesn't. I'm like, I'm here.
I very
should
rarely
see where this is going.
If I went to the theater, I rarely
Yeah.
walk out.
I should have walked out of AI. Should have walked out of AI. I still regret that. And Christum's skull.
Christum,
Chris, is that what I said? Should have walked out.
your life would be better for it.
I would have hours extra.
back, and you wouldn't be so angry.
So angry. Fuck you, Steven
Rageful.
Spielberg. Honestly, I
Those
think
are both Spielberg
I
movies,
know.
by the- okay.
I think my opinion of him would be different if I hadn't sat through both of those movies.
That's very well true. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Haunted Mansion, very low on my list.
You mean
Should have walked out.
high on your.
High on the worst,
Yeah.
or whichever. Yeah. This one, if we're really stretching it, it wasn't really at the worst of them. But Magic Mike 3,
I don't know. I only saw the first one.
Soderbergh directed this one again.
Okay, so he took 2 off.
He took 2 off, which was ironically, I think, the one that I liked the most.
Well,
I don't think I like his directorial choices.
Camp is Soderbergh's jam.
I would say this was unintentionally campy.
The third one.
The third one. I had a great time watching it. We went with drinks, ogled the men.
Sure.
Salma Hayek is there.
Hey.
Great.
Yeah. Remember how she was the best part of House of Gucci?
Yes.
So, just because I mentioned it, Ferrai was not good, but Penelope Cruz
Oh.
was a fucking amazing. I mean, she stole the entire movie. full-blown coont. Obsessed.
Great.
What do you want me to say? Mr. Ford, we have a deal, but first I must wait until I ask my wife for permission.
Yes, you can say that.
Executive realness, like boss, bitch.
Yeah.
What?
That was Salma Hayek. Boss bitch. She's in this fabulous big house and she's like, I'm a boss bitch.
Has the accent and might, they're not from Italy, but at least they're Italy adjacent.
Well, I mean, Salma Hayek and
I know.
it was bad. I did not know that she was supposed to be Italian.
It's like Patrick Dempsey in Ferrari.
There is no ashtray. You ever try flicking ash out of a car at 200 kilometers an hour?
I'm offering you a brand new car which has the edge on Maserati.
Bullshit. The Maserati is faster, and it has an ashtray.
Oh, no. Shailene Woodley in Ferrari.
Oh, no.
If I was a woman like I am now, not 12 years ago, I would not have interfered in another woman's marriage. And in our world here, between me and you and Piero, what is best for Piero?
Another one that you haven't seen, that I would not recommend, Super Mario Brothers.
Didn't you walk out of that? You wanted to.
I wanted to. I should have. That was also one of the worst films I think I've ever seen. And someone recently said to me that they liked it, and I was like, are you insane? That movie was garbage.
But was it kid movie
No,
garbage?
it was
just
garbage.
Garbage. Okay.
It's just, like, if this is what we're feeding our children, then I have no hope for humanity. This is drivel.
Terrible, truly, utterly appalling.
Awful. Do better. It's just so lazy. I will not see another imagination film.
Okay, that's on your
ever
next
again.
list,
I will just not do it.
Yeah.
They are not for me. I don't care for them.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I'm glad that Migration, their new movie, flopped.
Did a nosedive?
Oh, yeah. A swan dive?
Yeah. Another one on my list. Anyone But You had potential. Fantastic marketing campaign.
Yes.
Tell you what, got my butt in the theater. I felt duped.
I'm so here for rom-coms.
Yeah.
And yet, I haven't watched it.
Nothing made sense.
Again.
It's not that hard.
Just write a script that makes sense.
People being so mad about things when so much time has passed and you're an adult.
Let it go.
The inciting incident for Anyone But You, how could you, was so high school kind of. It was just so okay, that sucks, but you're mad. You're actively mad about it 6 months later. You
6
spent
months.
one day together.
Wow.
And had a sort of.
And this human being affected you for 6 months.
To the point where you're it's ruining your sister's wedding.
No.
Anyway, regardless, there was other problems with that movie, but it was not good, and it's on my list because it could have been, and that marketing was great.
I don't know if I would put it all the way at the bottom. It was actually kind of fun. But speaking of, I believe I saw that Shotgun Wedding, the J-Lo movie, did come out this year.
I thought you were going to say, I believe I watched Shotgun Wedding.
No, I did watch it. I remember that, and I did see it in theaters. But to me, it felt like it came out.
I think it was early in the year,
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would just put it on the meh.
Right.
It doesn't count as a worst.
Should have turned it off list? No. Not even that bad.
No, because it's one of those ones that you could have it on.
J-Lo's there.
J-Lo's there. You could watch it on a ski trip or somewhere where you don't actually have to pay attention, but it's there.
Speaking of great marketing.
Okay.
Hot take. I did not like the Barbie movie. It is on my list. Yeah. I did not enjoy it.
Wow.
I thought it is a bad movie. There's great costumes. There's great set design.
Beautiful gowns.
The wigs,
gorgeous
gowns.
Taylor Swift.
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
The wigs were off the fucking charts. Yes. A lot of artistry was put into it. I thought the script was terrible and I didn't care for the movie. So that's why it's on my list. Again, I understand it's not it's not a piece of garbage movie. I did not enjoy it.
That's fair.
I didn't enjoy watching the movie.
That's fair.
So Barbie is on my list. Hot take.
Hot-ish.
Simmering. One more movie that is on my list that I turned off, that is one of the hotter takes. I turned off The Killer, the new David Fincher movie. This was a rage quit.
Wow.
This one was a rage quit. It was they went into my brain and said, what would Avaryl find the most, like...
Did it start with a flashback? Or
Oh, no, that's just tropey. No, it was, the credits started and they were weird. It felt like I was watching Lucky Number 11. Like, it was like a weird, I was like, this is like a throwback to, what is this exactly? This is the new Fincher movie? It was like odd. Right?
Okay.
So I was already like, that's weird. Then it's Michael Fassbender, of course. Oh, it was Michael Fassbender. And people are really praising it for this, and that's fine. The first 30 minutes is him sitting around waiting. He's an assassin.
Okay.
Waiting for his shot, right? Mm-hmm. And it's got wall-to-wall, nonsensical to me, because at a certain point it started to wash over me, voiceover.
The real problems arise in the days, hours, and minutes leading up to the task. There are 1,500 McDonald's in France. A good enough place to grab 10 grams of protein for €1. It's a dog-eat-dog world, to reuse the apt cliche. Every man for himself. Kill or be killed. Survival of the fittest. Take comfort in the fact that 70 to 80% of wrongful convictions are the direct result of eyewitness tests. From the beginning of history, the few have always exploited the many. This is the cornerstone of civilization. It's the idle hours that most often lead a man to ruin. Ted Williams batted .344 lifetime at the U.S. military-industrial complex.
As I walked home with the dirty dishes clanking inside my picnic basket, all I could think of was Julie.
Just constant voiceover, and I was like, I can't keep this in my head. I can't keep track.
Because it's supposed to be like his stream of consciousness?
Yes, but I honestly would have liked it if it was literally a silent half hour. I would have been more into it, because so then that was bad enough. I was like, voiceover, where's Brian Cox to yell at you?
I should leave here right now. I'll start over. I need to face this project head on.
And God help you if you use voiceover in your work, my friends. God help you. It's flaccid, sloppy writing.
And then he's listening to music, right? Because he's an assassin, but he's kill all, right?
140 million human beings are born every...
And it's really loud, except when he does the voiceover and it cuts.
Worldwide population is approximately 7.8 billion.
Well,
and it simultaneously cuts with his telescope view.
Every second, 1.8 people die.
And I said, I can't do this. It was making me insane.
Okay.
It was like French Dispatch, where they literally, it's in 4:3 and the subtitles are up and down and the fonts are changing and the sizes, and I was like, it was like you were trying to ignore me personally. My dyslexic brain was going, ah! So I didn't care for the killer.
I find music a useful distraction. Keeps the inner voice from wandering.
Okay, I have one that I thought was gonna be on my worst of the year, and turned out it wasn't.
Okay.
Which was Wonka. I thought, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that's gonna be some hot garbage.
Well, it's the guy who did the Paddington movies,
And
so I knew it would have some, I just still don't want to watch it, but I knew it would have more thought than just, I mean, it was going to be better than Tim Burton doing it or something.
Right.
Now
well, he did do it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now Tim Burton.
Yeah. It turns out Timothée has charisma. He really...
Sure.
I was surprised. I didn't hate him.
Okay. Does he sing?
He sings. The singing was fine. Okay. I would say the worst problem with it was actually the musical numbers. Not the filming production of them.
Okay.
But like the actual music was forgettable and bland.
Like the songs were
the
like,
songs
who cares?
were like, who cares?
Yeah.
But then...
It's hard when every track on Willy Wonka is a banger.
Well, so they use...
I'm sure.
Come with me.
Of course they do.
Of course.
And at the end, and then they use the Oompa Loompa song. And I was like, so it's odd to me that you took two of the most iconic songs from this other movie musical. Like maybe they should have just done one or two new ones.
Right.
Because it really slowed
it was a
down.
musical.
It was
Yes?
a musical.
Okay.
There were 4, 5 numbers of like, some of them were really bad. One was like awful.
Oh no. It wasn't...
Greatest Showman?
Yeah. Was it?
What do you mean?
No, it
Pasek and Paul?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And I just will airdrop that to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Pasek and Paul, and it didn't suffer from their
from
her.
Yeah.
No, like I said, the filmmaking of the musical number is not particularly the problem.
Yeah.
It was like There's one that's like
Promised the wife I cut down on chocolate. I got to get in shape for the policeman's ball. So, but think about your sweet tooth. I do.
But like this one, anyway. I don't know why we're talking about Wonka so much.
Yeah.
It was
stop
fine.
talking about it. We need to move on.
It was fine.
I'm
Whatever.
excited. Are you ready for the worst movie of the year?
Absolutely.
And we both agree.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
It's Cocaine Bear. Another movie that I guess had potential great marketing.
Yeah.
This year, great marketing for
shit movies.
Not good movies.
Yeah. Or misleading marketing.
Yeah. They got the buzz was buzzing, you know what I mean?
Buzz was buzzing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cocaine Bear, we did a review of it. It was lazy and bad.
Yeah.
And didn't hit the right tone.
No.
The filmmaking was bizarre and
bad.
Awful.
I think more than anything, the filmmaking was awful.
Yeah.
We talked about it more. You can go watch it.
So, yes, that is the worst movie of the year. Or at least the movie we liked the least. And the only reason I didn't walk out of it was because I was in a theater in a rainstorm.
Oh, that's right.
Had my
But I remember you told me that you thought about it.
I would have left, but it was raining outside and I had a suitcase. Like, that's how bad it was. So there's that. Anyway, quick commercial break and we'll be back with a different category. Last year, I did an ironically great subcategory, and people seem to really enjoy that. So these are movies that are so bad they're good, if you will, or I love them even though they're a complete disaster.
Sure.
Various things like that. So,
Shadow in the Cloud type.
Oh my, I love that movie, and it's awful.
You have no idea how far I'll go.
You have no idea how far I'll go! Come on!
Kind of rewatched Shadow in the Cloud. I looked up that director the other day because I was like, who is
yeah.
that bitch? That was a great movie, and she hasn't done anything since. And I'm like, damn it, come on, give her some funding so she can make more schlocky insanity.
Insanity.
Okay, on my list this year, a movie that I told you to watch and you haven't watched yet, and I probably built it up too much, but wow. Okay, so it's a movie called Beautiful Disaster.
Right.
I started watching it based on the poster, and my Prime auto played the trailer, and I said, what's this though? It seems like it's gonna be a Fault in Your Stars tragedy lit, or actually I take it back. That is passé. It seems like it's gonna be 50 Shades. There's a subgenre, because 50 Shades is fan fiction from Twilight. There is now a subgenre of 50 Shades-esque coming of age teen movies where the guy is an asshole and the girl is a woo! I'm really smart, but I've never seen a person before in my life. What? And you're like supposed to be rooting for them?
Okay.
So it seems like it's gonna be that. And it is, but it's also a raunchy rated R, like rom-com, bizarre sound effects, crazy outlandish performances.
I'm trying.
Insane thing, like it shifted every time I thought, well, surely this is good. What? And also it had that vibe of, yeah, but 20-year-olds do act like this.
You know what is insane? You have essentially just described the movie Poor Things.
Wow, how exciting. I think you'll like Beautiful Disaster more.
I don't know. I actually kind of liked Poor Things in the end.
Yeah.
I was like, Huh.
I have not seen it.
I don't know if you would like it. I don't think you would.
I haven't had much luck with, his name is escaping me.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yes, I haven't had much luck. I don't connect with his movies as much as other people do.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited he's making the art he's making.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's personally for me.
Yeah. He has a very specific, it's like very, I don't know, it's like Big Fish meets...
Buñuel.
Yeah. I mean, like the fact that Emma Stone plays this Frankenstein monster that becomes a whore in Paris.
Oh, you've just described, other than the Paris part, one of my favorite movies called Frankenhooker.
I mean...
which is great.
Hey, dollface. How about those Mets? Well, actually, I'm not too fond of organized sports. More of a one-on-one type guy. I kind of prefer a certain indoor sport, you know what I mean? How about if I stick my tongue down your throat?
Anyway, who knew we were going to get here? But anyway.
Great disaster.
Yes, Beautiful Disaster.
Beautiful Disaster.
And guess what is coming out next year? The sequel, A Beautiful Wedding, and I'm genuinely excited about it.
Great. Love that.
I have no regrets.
You look better already. Vegas for another night?
That'll be a disaster. Let's do it.
So yes, I would highly recommend that. It was hilarious and terrible.
Love it.
Oh, and I'm a weirdo.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
Is the guy, I think, or it's his twin brother. It's one of
the Sprouses.
It's one of those Sprouses. I'm not sure which one, but he's in it.
Great.
Okay, so a movie that started on my best list, and then by the so this is what I say. Okay, it's a horror movie called The Cobweb.
Okay.
The first 2/3, I was like, this movie's fucking great. This movie has a vision. It has a look. I like the acting. The mystery is keeping me involved. What is going on? I'm creeped out. I'm really creeped out. The third act is amazing schlock.
Like Malignant.
And I loved it. And I was like, yes. So if you want to watch a great movie that turns into a schlocky, it was insane.
Okay. Great. Cobweb.
I'm not going to spoil a thing,
Great.
except that, yes, in the third act, it becomes Shadow in the Cloud. In a way.
Love it.
But I really liked the look of it. It really had a style. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So Cobweb, at least the last third. Another movie I'm putting on the list, it did come out in 2022.
Okay.
But it was shelved for 8 years and just came out in 2022. So I feel like it could be on this list.
Did we watch that one this year?
What? King's Daughter, you still haven't watched it.
Oh, no, not that.
The King's Daughter, starring Pierce Brosnan as Louis XVI.
Do you have a genuine smile? Hidden somewhere? No regrets, mademoiselle.
You didn't even try.
I mean, that's kind of like fucking Napoleon, right? He's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it. And he's got a real wig on. It's a wig. And Come Bother Me.
Come bother.
Is the guy. And Crawl, True Alligator Event is the girl. And it's a movie they don't make anymore because they made it in whatever 2016 or whatever the fuck, and it was shelved. There was like a scandal there was like a tax evasion from one of the Chinese actresses, and she was really famous, and then she got blackballed, and they couldn't release the movie because she was like the international like draw and whatever. It was like a whole thing. So it finally came out. And it's weird, and it's got a vision. The costumes are bizarre. There's a mermaid. It's worth watching.
Ghost Piano.
Yes.
When did that come out?
I think 22.
Gotcha. Because that was also one that was
I think that was on my list last year.
Okay, great.
But if you haven't watched Until We Meet Again,
I
mean, definitely watch. I mean, that is on the list. So then my number one, ironically great movie of the year, which we can share together.
Yeah.
The Pope's Exorcist. Boy, did I love this movie.
Oh my God.
It's camptacular.
I mean, Russell Crowe on a Vespa. Need I say more?
Need I say more? I watched this movie more than once. So
I have as well.
That's a testament.
Yeah. In the same year.
Yeah, exactly. So
wow.
Props.
I've evangelized it, you know?
So that is the ironically great movies of the year and one from last year.
Can't help yourself.
Cannot do it.
So, quick commercial break, and we will be back with another category of Avrils.
Oh no, I'm going to be talking too much. Okay, so I will be brief. Lightning round. Category is movies that I stumbled upon this year that came out in various other years and have nothing to do with 2023.
Aside from the fact that you watched them
Aside from the fact that I watched them this year. Just a few recommendations of things that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Great.
My favorite movies that I, discovered, let's say. Okay, lightning round. The Wrong Guy, starring Dave Foley and Jennifer Tilly.
Oh.
It is if Airplane was made by Canadians.
Okay.
It's like The Fugitive, and it's also somehow Kingpin. It's like if the Farrelly brothers and the Zucker brothers were Canadian and they got together and they made a really, really funny, farcical, that kind of humor that I love and you love movie. Loved it. I loved it.
Great.
Why are you laughing like that?
Like what?
You know, weird, creepy.
It's, allergy.
I found a series, it's only 2 movies, but I found a series of films called, one's called Cast a Deadly Spell.
Okay.
And the other is called Witch Hunt. They're both based on if H.P. Lovecraft wrote a film noir.
I followed Gottlieb up to Los Feliz. I wish I had a rum punch for every time somebody in my business followed a car up to Los Feliz.
And they have great performances. So in the first one, Fred Ward plays, I think it's Philip Lovecraft is the, Philip Marlowe,
Sure.
H.P. Lovecraft. In this world, magic exists, but it's like a drug or it's like an easy way out. It's AI, basically. It actually really hit. It really hit this year because I was like, it's like, well, you could use it, but then you won't know how to do that yourself. So it actually was a really good year to watch it. There's some amazing practical effects in it. There's drag.
Love it.
In Cast a Deadly Spell. It was interesting. So Cast a Deadly Spell came out first. They're both HBO original movies.
Oh, wow. Huh.
The second one came out a few years later. Paul Schrader directed it. Dennis Hopper plays Philip Lovecraft.
Okay.
And Lipsinka shows up.
Oh, love it. Well, there you go. I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
So first, is the sequel better than the original?
Okay, here's the thing. I watched the sequel first unintentionally.
Okay.
And fucking loved it. Watched the original, thought it wouldn't be as good, fucking loved it. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. Actually, it's tough. Cast a Deadly Spell has more practical effects. Witch Hunt has some pretty early 90s CGI that's a little
okay.
I love Fred Ward. I love Dennis Hopper. Drag, Lipsinka. I mean, Witch Hunt is basically, it's an allegory for the blacklisting. So it's like the witch hunt, and it's literally a witch hunt.
Yeah.
But it's great, and there's some weird shit that happens. Witch Hunt was weird. They're both weird. They are both very weird.
Bradbury? A couple of kids saw it drive off the pier. Managed to get the license number before it sank. Thought you might be interested. Take a look inside. Foot's still on the accelerator.
Look at her face.
Suicides don't look like that.
And the Innes house shows up
fun.
in Witch Hunt, and you get to see inside, which you don't usually get to see inside. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Give me some Frank Lloyd Wright.
So it had great LA stuff, fabulous cast, actors. I really loved them both.
Second question.
Second question.
Could it be turned into a rom-com a la Mrs. Winterbourne?
Why not? Why not?
Great.
Well, it was interesting too because I watched another movie that didn't go on my list because it was boring called Marlowe.
Okay.
Which was another film noir, and they tried to redo it. And Neil Jordan made it, and it's Liam Neeson as Marlowe, and he's like 70 something. And, you know, Marlowe's supposed to be this ex-vet who's kind of coming back, and he's readjusting to life, and women are drawn to him, and he's got this like sardonic kind of like fuck you attitude, and you're just like, this age gap, and it was boring. Anyway, but film noirs can be made, and they can be great. But adding fantasy to film noir, I was like, this is literally fucking catnip.
Sure.
So I would recommend both of those highly. Okay, Something for Everyone. Someone recommended this to
Oh,
us.
yes.
Saying that it was very Saltburn, so I immediately watched it as fast as I could.
Angela Lansbury and Saltburn-esque. I'm on board.
Angela Lansbury. Michael York.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's great. I couldn't believe it came out in 1971. The costumes are fantastic.
Nice.
There's real archival, not but they shot it, but like real old footage of Neuschwanstein.
Ah, yeah.
It was great.
Love it.
It was a spiritual sequel to Teorema.
Ah, yes, of course.
And now we've got a trilogy.
Ooh.
Teorema, Something for Everyone, Saltburn. And they're just getting more and more in your face.
Sure.
Thoroughly enjoyed that dark black comedy. Okay, opening night was a Cassavetes movie that I watched this year. Gina Rowlands is a drunk actress in a play, and she's trying to get it together, and she is so good. Oh my God, she's so good. And the backstage, and the on stage, and the fake play that's going on that's paralleling it was great.
Cool.
It's great, guys. It's great. High Heels and Low Lifes. Okay, another very, very silly comedy. Just silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just silly. Directed by Mel Smith. Minnie Driver in an early performance.
Ooh.
Female-centric caper.
Love it.
Not quite a caper, but basically they stumble upon a heist and then they try to get involved and the da-da-da-da-da and whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just silly.
Fun.
Like if Rowan Atkinson showed up, it was that kind of movie.
Yep.
Thoroughly
Did you ever
enjoyed
watch
it.
The Spy Who Dumped Me?
Yes, we watched it together, didn't we?
No, I watched it on a plane.
Okay, yes, I did watch it.
It was
It had
funny.
moments.
I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Okay. Shakes the Clown. I finally watched this movie. I had seen it in the Blockbuster shelf forever. The cover scared me. I knew on some level it was going to be bizarre. It's not a good movie. It's an interesting, weird movie to watch in retrospect. It's Bobcat Goldthwait's first directorial debut. Adam Sandler shows up. I think it's his first movie, I want to say, or
wow.
it's really early. The way he sets up Clown Society.
Look, I'll handle this bingo. You just go back to your little midget car and your f***ing big feet and f***ing fly around, man. Oh, good. That means you're leaving.
As if it is a thing.
Great.
As if there's a clown bar where the clowns go and they dress like clowns and they hate mimes. There was something, the world was built. It's not a good movie. It's in and out. There's parts that are great. I never was bored. Kathy Griffin shows up.
Right, in that clip?
Julie Brown shows up.
Ah.
The cast is really interesting. It's worth a watch if you're like a Bobcat Goldthwait fan and you're kind of into bizarre things. Okay, Images. Robert Altman's only horror movie.
Oh.
It's not really a horror movie, but psychological horror movie.
Okay.
I don't want to say nothing about it except go fucking watch this movie. I loved it. It's a woman. Is she losing it? Isn't she losing it? The circular editing. When Altman hits, he hits. And when he misses, he misses. Oh boy. But this was a hit. Really, really loved it. Okay, I got two more. Nightbreed, Clive Barker's opus that was tragically cut by studios, chopped up. They finally re-released the director's cut, remastered. The special effects are amazing. The practical effects, the visuals, the amount of ideas in this, the amount of original, creative looking visual ideas, I was gobsmacked.
Wow.
And it's like basically the freaks uprising too, but where they're really the good people and whatever. And the plot is pretty basic in that it's been told before, but the way that he tells it and the visuals, oh my God, it was amazing.
From the imagination of Clive Barker comes Nightbreed.
Okay, last one. Pre-code movie called Supernatural with Carol Lombard, who traditionally was only in, light comedies. This is a full-on horror for 1930s. About a female strangler who gets the electric chair and possesses the body.
Wait.
It's very body parts where it's like, oh no, the arms want
must
to kill.
kill.
There was just a lot of really cool pre-code stuff in here, lots of like seance-y, black magic, like stuff that you're like, ooh, they wouldn't be talking about this after, the crackdown. It was short, it was sweet, I really enjoyed it. It was fabulous. So Supernatural. So anyway, that was my recommendation list of the year, and I would recommend them all to different people. But,
you've listened to them. We'll put it in the description just so you can.
The Venn diagram is Avaryl enjoyed it, and then
there's like little fringes. It's like a little daisy or something.
Yeah, exactly. The 8 Mountains. Transition.
So, last but certainly not least, in fact, the opposite, is our favorite movies of the year.
Yes!
Is 8 Mountains on your list?
It is, because of the cinematography. It's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It was so gorgeous.
Yeah. Now, where's that movie but gay? I know we talked about this, but you know what I mean? I'm so sick of the gay movies being... Like, Saltburn doesn't count. That's not a gay movie.
Right.
And Red, White, and Royal Blue, obviously, doing a different thing. But, where is something where it's and then it's the 2 men in the forest of Italy making beautiful movies and things together. Oh, not the movies.
I'm sure they exist. Maybe we haven't been catching them.
No, they don't particularly.
Okay. You're keeping an eye out.
I mean, I try to.
For anyone that's wondering, I finally finished watching 8 Mountains after my link timed out. And it does not turn gay suddenly in the last 40 minutes. But it is just a thoughtful movie about life and friendships and time passing. And is there a right or wrong way to live life? No, there's the way I want to live, the way you want to live, and how do you cope with that? And also the Italian Alps. Oh my God, it was gorgeous. The soundtrack was great. Daniel Norgren did the soundtrack, and it was directed by a husband and wife team.
In the endless night, when it's done.
But no, it has that, searching for the meaning of life, and really it's the journey vibe. So yes, 8 Mountains is on my list. It's gorgeous.
Well, so my list is made up entirely, actually, of, except for Poor Things is on the cusp.
Right.
I wouldn't normally put it on my, favorite movies of the year list.
Yeah.
But I did like a lot about it.
Are you still talking about Poor Things?
I'm still talking about Poor Things. And what I really liked about it was that there was a strong artistic vision.
Yes.
And I just want to, support that more.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I just am really...
Oh, I want him to make as many movies as he possibly can. I just might not be...
I might not like all of them. Yeah. Or I might not like all of them, if that makes sense.
Right. Parts, but not all.
Yeah. And that's mostly been true, I think, so far.
Yeah,
I've liked
that's
parts,
true.
but not all of all
Yeah,
of his
Lobster, parts, but not all. Favorite, parts, but not all. Yeah.
Yeah. And this one, I think, might actually be my favorite of his so far that I've seen.
But it's certainly the most visually different, let's say.
Visually different. And like I said, it was Big Fish meets Benjamin Button meets Corsage meets something else. I don't know what it was.
Right.
And
Isn't that fun?
Exactly. Isn't that nice in an age of fucking Super Mario Brothers movie?
I love it. I was so mad.
I hated that movie.
Mad about
it was so lazy and so anything, right? It was devoid of character, of thought, of intent.
Yeah.
And this had so much
Sure.
that I just really
You want to applaud
appreciated.
that.
Exactly. And that's Ari Aster, we'll get to it. But I'm appreciative that there seems to be a moment where we have a lot of auteurs. Even
the auteurs are surfacing.
Yes.
And I'm excited, Okay, I'm just going in the order that I wrote them down.
Yeah, great.
A quick recommend for the Albert Brooks doc, Defending My Life.
Right.
Directed by Rob Reiner. It's a classic doc, but I didn't know that much I knew a lot about Albert Brooks' movies.
Right.
I didn't know a lot about his stand-up and his art performances. His stand-up is really performance art.
Interesting.
And I didn't know about it. And they had a ton of great footage, and I was cackling. And it was just as fresh somehow as it was. It didn't age poorly.
Aged well, nice.
And it was just a really solid doc about someone I find really interesting.
Nice. You looked behind the protective ice to find Albert Brooks.
Yes. Okay.
The protective ice? You've actually named the clear, hard crap that sits on the top?
Speaking of foreign films that are long, I watched Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, it's on my list.
Sandra Hüller, it's Huller with the toot.
Yep.
Hüller? Okay, so Sandra Hüller, devastatingly fantastic. Holy shit. The kid who played her son, I wrote it down and then I forgot what it was. Mind-boggling, amazing. The performances are great. It's like watching The Staircase, that 6-hour courtroom documentary about the murder trial, and And, the movie is dissecting the different angles of a case and the French legal system. And it's so minutia procedural, but it's riveting at the same time. Great job. Also directed by a woman.
Yeah.
Just pointing it out. Like, it was just amazing to me that it was like, across the board, there was so many options.
Yeah,
And I kept going, oh, wow. Wow.
That is nice.
Anatomy of a Fall, if you have the time and you like courtroomy stuff and, true crimey stuff, it was a really interesting take on it.
Yeah, I've heard really good things, so it's on my list to watch.
Yeah.
The next one on the list is Dix the Musical.
Dix the
we
Musical,
did
yes.
Most of these, like I said, we've done full reviews on.
Dix the Musical is on my list as well.
It's funny, this one was so polarizing. I've talked to so many people that did not care for this movie.
Really?
Well, I'm flummoxed. I'm dumbfounded.
And I was like, it's so much my humor.
Goodbye forever, Craig.
Goodbye to you too. For forever.
That's the thing. I think I forget sometimes, obviously people have different senses of humor. It was so outlandish. It was so in your face.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
God is a faggot.
I thought they put the details where they needed to be.
Yes.
I thought it wasn't it wasn't like a well-made, grandiose Oscar movie, but it shouldn't be.
No.
Comedies can be cheap looking and have...
Sometimes a shake and go wig does just as
good.
Does the job.
You look so good, King.
You too, King. I mean, obviously I would have preferred a lace front, but sometimes a shake and go can get the job done.
There's so many quotes from it this year. I laughed so hard, I was sweating, and I nearly pissed my pants.
Yeah.
Of all the humiliations I've had in show business, and they are legion, this may be the most humiliating moment I've ever had.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I am really excited that a movie this sort of insane got made.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a comedy. It's a broad comedy. Thank you. So, yay.
Yay.
Okay, next on my list, Saltburn.
Yeah.
Emerald Fennell's sophomore entry into the world. Yeah. Not a perfect movie. Has issues. Was insane and fantastic and thought-provoking and people walked out in my theater.
Bit too sick for my taste. I never believe that. Everyone's so sick. Full sickos. Everyone's a full sicko.
Memorable performances to die for.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, Rosamund Pike will live in my mind rent-free forever.
Yeah.
For this performance. I mean, she already was. She's fabulous. But obsessed. Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. But there was so much iconography from it that I really enjoyed it.
And I said it in our review, I am so incredibly excited for Emerald Fennell's career.
Sure.
I can't wait for the next Emerald Fennell movie. And it's been a long time since I can remember saying that about a female director. Because they usually don't get to make a follow-up movie. So,
you weren't so excited about Olivia Wilde's next film? Rude. I just was thinking about sophomore.
How rude!
How rude? It's not rude at all. As if we actually want to talk to those vapid cunts.
So anyway, Saltburn. Next on my list, Quiz Lady.
Yeah!
A nice road trip comedy.
Look out! Learn how to drive! Racist!
Oh.
Hi. And also really funny.
Yep.
Starring Sandra Oh and Aquafina.
Yeah.
Directed by a woman.
Yes.
I'm just putting it out there. It's just nice to hear.
But you know what? I think it was really important too. Like you could tell. Sometimes it's like directed by a woman.
It was a personal story.
But yes, it was, and you could tell that it had that female touch in directing.
Yep.
There were beats about family, about their relationship as sisters that felt so real and meaningful, and it gave the movie heart. It wasn't just a dumb broad comedy of like these two.
No, the two actresses and their relationship grounded the whole thing.
The whole thing, and I thought that really helped it work. Yes. I found it heartwarming and touching, but also really funny.
Really funny.
And so I love movies like that, and it's rare that they come along.
It ended and I just went, I was just grinning.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard. I had such a fun time.
I love
it. Was short.
Yep. I think it's like 86 minutes, soaking wet. Love it. Sandra Oh and Aquafina play sisters.
Yeah.
I love that they role swap them.
Yeah, yeah.
Aquafina is like the nerdy, buttoned up, curmudgeonly younger sister, and Sandra Oh is this wild child.
Oh, yeah.
You know, flying off with the wind and just kind of crazy, kooky older sister. And you know, they could have easily had Aquafina be the crazy one.
Yeah.
And I love that they didn't. It
And
works so
Aquafina
well.
really, not that she had anything to prove, but I think, you know,
She's showing
people
both of their versatility. It shows both of their versatility.
And she is really a great actress.
Yes.
I mean, they both are, but
Yeah.
I was thoroughly impressed. Thought it was heartwarming, fun, fabulous. Loved it. If
Yeah.
you like game shows, if you like road trip movies, you know, if you like, Holland Taylor shows up to be her crazy neighbor.
That's right.
Will Ferrell's there.
Yeah.
Paul Rubens' last role, he's there. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. It was my favorite movie of TIFF, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. Another one I have, Past Lives.
Yes.
I think my favorite movie of Sundance, and I just thought it was so beautiful, and again, good acting.
Fantastic acting. It's based on a play, yes?
Yes, also female directed.
Female directed. Personal story.
I don't think it is based off of a play.
Is that?
I'm pretty sure she wrote it, and it's based off her own life.
Oh, it wasn't she wrote a play.
She wrote a play.
She wrote the
I think you might be
screenplay?
right. I
Okay.
think you might be right.
Yeah, it feels like
She is a playwright.
It feels like play-like.
Yes.
To me, it was very interesting. It was like if you took Brief Encounter and put it into the 21st century without the societal norms that were keeping people apart. Right in, you haven't seen Brief Encounter, but basically it's if only we weren't married, if only this, if only that.
A revolving door.
Society
What
and
is it called? Sliding doors?
Sliding doors.
Sliding
It's
doors.
not quite as in and out as
Sure.
Past Lives is, but just that sort of society, and I had, we're with different people and we can't break these social norms to be together, and there's that real tension where you're like, no, break out of it, go. And this movie takes all of the society norms out of it because everyone is so free in many ways to do whatever they want these days,
Yes.
right? And so what choices do you make when you don't have society directing where you can go and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate and what you're supposed to do with your life?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was just a really interesting,
But there were
different
still
take on it.
circumstances that happened, right?
100%.
Oh, you moved and that relationship was severed, but like, what if it hadn't been, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. I just
It
thought...
was what ifs and, what have yous. But I love the performances. It was a very low-key movie.
Yes.
Like it just kind of sits with you and...
Atmospheric.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
Couple of quick ones. Okay. I actually really liked Asteroid City. I think it might be in parallel with how much I fucking hated French Dispatch.
Yeah.
Asteroid City was sort of a back to the basics and yet more complicated and layered than his movies have been in a while. It was two things at once. It was a play within a play there was so many things going on of different mediums and who's telling what stories and perspectives of different people, and I liked it a lot, and I loved the look of it.
Okay.
He hasn't done that specific, I mean, all of his movies have a look, right? But he hasn't done like that sort of 1950s space age, desert. It was a very specific look.
Yes.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the kid actors were great. It was fun. I liked it.
All right, I'll give it a try.
I don't know.
I was interested. I've kind of been like, no, I'm done.
His movies aren't, I mean, they haven't been absolutely amazing in a while.
Yeah.
But this one I thought was better than the past few.
Okay, great.
I did like it.
Okay. Oh, I was thinking while I was watching Wonka, I was like, ooh, now a Wes Anderson Wonka.
Yeah, no, I want him to try something totally different.
Right? But like I feel like that would have been a good prompt for him where it's like there's a lot of confines.
Yeah.
But like seeing what Wes Anderson's Wild World of Chocolate would look like with a fucking chocolate fountain and whatever else.
Yeah.
Oompa Loompas that aren't CGI'd Hugh Grant.
Oh, I don't think I want to hear that.
Too late. I've started dancing now. Once we've started, we can't stop, see? Oompa Loompa Dum.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Who knew Wonka was going to come up so much in this video? Who knew?
Who knew? But anyway, yeah. I was like, I would like to see like a kids movie, like an actual like family.
Well, that's
I
why
guess Moonrise Kingdom was.
I was
going to
say that's why I think Moonrise Kingdom really hit with a lot of people. That was, I think, his last great movie that people loved.
My favorite of his.
I think it's because it did take it went to the innocent kid route. It skewed younger.
Yes.
And that was a little different for him. Lots of pleasant, nice films this year.
Great.
And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
It was just like, you're waiting for something horrific to happen. You go, oh, it was fine, it was nice. So Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Fantastic adaptation of the novel. They rounded out the 3 generations. The book is much more about just the young, 12-year-old girl, Margaret. The book really rounds out the mom. Rachel McAdams gives a fantastic performance. She was amazing. Kathy Bates plays the grandma. She was amazing. They were all different and all connected.
Okay.
And it was just like a, nice movie about adolescence. And being a girl who's like on the precipice of things, but not too heavy. And
I love that.
It had a great soundtrack, and it was directed by a woman. Just putting it out there. Really, it was just really lovely. It was like a movie they don't make, where you're just like, that was just lovely. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Love it.
Recommend. Quick shout out once again to Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. I am championing this movie. I watched it again.
I love it.
Which is a true testament. I've already said it before, but
and you can click on the link.
Practical effects. Really economy of filmmaking. And I know that sounds like it's a bad thing in a way, but the way they spent their budget, I was just like, as a YouTuber that made a movie, instantly you're going, I thought it was fantastic. Go watch it.
Nice.
Okay, last one that you haven't seen.
Okay.
Dream Scenario.
Oh, it's on my list. I really want to see it.
With Nicolas Cage. This was a thinker. It's a Norwegian filmmaker. Ari Aster was supposed to direct it.
Oh.
And the guy, I forget his name, sorry. But he said, I think I want to direct this one. So Ari Aster just produced it.
Oh.
It was a little less bizarre than I thought it would be. Like, I thought it was going to be way more dream sequences, wackiness. And there was stuff in there. But it was just like a sort of thoughtful meditation on fame and a bit about canceling people and what drives that. And no one does it like Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Where you're just like, he's great at being a loser that you like.
It's true.
And you don't at the same time. This one really rolled around for a while.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. And as I was watching, I was like unlocking things like, oh, that means, and this is, and it, so thought-provoking. Really liked it. I liked it a lot.
Great. I mean, I do think we've stumbled onto something with, I've been referring more and more to the Nicolas Cage-ness of people, of actors.
Yeah.
Where when they've just committed to whatever role it is that they are in.
They're in.
125%. And they're just like, this is exactly, sure, I'm just going to, whatever is here, I will
if I believe
incorporate
it
it
on
into
the page,
a character that makes sense, and that's who I am now.
Yeah.
And it creates the campy, absurd performances. And also sometimes really magnificent performances.
Yeah.
And it depends, I think, more on the subject matter, because there's something about his performance is always great, even if it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's magic, but
there's no one quite like Nicolas Cage.
no, but you do see people that do it every now and then. You're like, you know what? They've really committed to the bit.
Yeah.
They Gina Gershon did, or they
Vampire's Kiss.
I mean, honestly, I would say more than Gina Gershon in it.
Elizabeth Berkley.
Elizabeth Berkley did.
From where, Becky? Different places.
She committed 125%. She was like, I am Naomi Malone right now. This is my movie. That's who I am.
Yes. So I would recommend it. It wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but I really liked it.
Okay, great.
Okay, 2 more, and we saw them both. I think they're both on your list.
Great.
I'm not sure. Second to last, Beau is Afraid.
Oh, did I not say that already?
No.
Oh, great.
I mean, you mentioned it briefly.
Okay, yeah.
So, Beau is Afraid, the Ari Aster, blank check, Behemoth?
Yeah. Behemoth. I like
Behemoth.
it.
It was
it's
so...
it's a behemoth machine.
It was just so... Again, not a perfect movie, but boy, did it have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Boy, did I really like it.
Yeah.
Boy, was it weird, and
Yeah.
I laughed, and it had great performances. It kept changing at least, and even when I was bored, I was still into what was going on. Like, what the fuck is this?
Again, for me, more
Patti
than anything,
LuPone.
Patti LuPone.
Nathan Lane.
And more than anything, it was, again, a movie that was a strong point of view, strong auteur vision, and it was a story that was meaningful to someone and meant something, and then that came across. And so I was intrigued and interested
It's not
to watch.
my lived experience, but I certainly engaged with it.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was art.
Yeah.
For me, pretty much, I would say all of the movies on my list, at least, are art.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm sick of. I'm really going to go in on this, but Super Mario Brothers, the movie, was not.
Yes.
So,
yes.
you know, I mean, that's dismissive, but it was not, for me, that was not art.
Yeah. I'm going to say MVP of the year, Nathan Lane.
I feel like maybe I haven't stressed this enough. I do fuck men. And not as often as I'd like, but whenever I get the chance.
Yes. And I will
Gilded
say.
Age. I mean, you know, we didn't mention it because we're not talking about TV, but.
No, but for me, it counts.
But boy, Nathan Lane, what a year.
I think Gilded Age might be my favorite thing to happen this year.
Oh, wow, great.
I'm obsessed with that show
Yeah.
in a deep, deep way.
Love it. Last but not least, our number one favorite movie of the year,
May
December.
Thank you. Cheers.
We did a review on it.
Yeah.
It's the movie that made me think the most
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
It was polarizing as well. It
didn't have enough hot dogs.
I don't think we have enough hot dogs.
I just love the smash cut to a metric ton of hot dogs.
So good.
It's.
I love that now, multiple times in conversations with people now, I have used the phrase, you didn't laugh at we're not gonna have enough hot dogs? But you didn't laugh at that. Oh no.
Oh no.
Or we didn't have enough hot dogs.
Dong. The zoom, it's so good.
So good, and then so layered, and the performances are just killer.
Yeah.
And Todd Haynes, thank you for making this movie. Loved it. It was the movie I just couldn't stop thinking about.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny too, because I think in having more conversations about it since we've done our review, I've talked with people, and it's interesting to see some people who also didn't think that Tar was a comedy. And I'm like, but you didn't laugh in Tar?
You know, what about Beethoven? You into him?
You didn't
laugh? And then also that conversation, I think, is really helpful that we talked about, of the idea that comedy and dark comedy or comedic elements and campy melodrama helps process traumatic or heavy subject matter.
Complex issues.
And that's the other thing too that I think, for me, May December firmly falls in the Tar cinematic universe of films that...
Love this.
Oh, yes. But where it's like they are addressing, I would
really
say...
taboo...
cancel culture-esque conversations, right?
Right.
You know, Tar, she is canceled, right?
Yeah.
In this, she's canceled because, I mean, she did obviously an illegal and a horrible thing. Like, they were not...
But examining that and the different aspects of it and the different perspectives on it.
Right, and it's the shades of gray.
The shades of gray?
And I just really, and I think it's interesting to see, like, I feel like online conversation, I feel like Gen Z conversation, not to sound like an old man.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
But I feel like a lot of the conversation is so absolute.
Everything's absolute. Everything is all or nothing.
It's right or wrong, and then if it's wrong, then you're canceled forever, and it's terrible, and you're a horrible person.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe there are shades of gray.
Yeah.
And yes, someone can have done something wrong, and there can be bad things, and there can be bad people, but maybe there's also things that were not as bad, and there's sides to every story, and there's different aspects and facets.
How freeing forgiveness can be.
Well, that's true too.
I'm always concerned about things we can't discuss.
Sure.
I'm always concerned about that. If we can't have a conversation about it, that's a problem.
Well, especially because then it limits the perceptions,
And
right?
it limits people evolving and changing and growing in both directions.
Yeah,
so.
it's true. That's very
It's a great movie. Boy, did I love it.
I really did.
Man.
It stuck with me.
It really did.
It really...
Like, it kept me up. Like, I was like in bed going, what the hell did that? Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
I mean, it's probably my favorite movie of the year,
Yeah.
which surprised me. I wasn't expecting that.
I went on a whim. I went, Julianne Moore, I'm into it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I thought this
But I don't even think I would have... I definitely wouldn't have said that after leaving the theater. When I left the theater, I would never have told you that this was going to be my favorite movie of the year.
That's interesting.
I was like, that was... Whoa. And then
You're
the more
right.
that I thought
You're
about
right.
it, I was like, oh, but wait.
But wait.
Oh, but wait.
But wait.
Oh my God.
You're right.
And so then I think because of that experience,
Yeah.
it's so rare that ever happens with a movie where afterward you feel so completely different about it.
Yep.
That I was that much more titillated by it.
How can you get so excited at a time like this? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not titillated or anything. It's just that I don't...
We've got to separate.
Gosh, you're fickle.
Right?
Yeah.
It was more than just the theater going experience. It was
Yeah.
the after theater experience.
Right. So yeah, I do think this year was full of auteurship. I
Yep.
think it was full of complicated, complex, interesting movies.
Yep.
And then, absolute shit.
Haunted
Or
Mansion.
actually, it was a lot of meh. Obviously, I turned off...
You turned off a lot.
So many movies this year.
Yeah. And a lot that I don't care about.
That was
we
the
didn't
thing.
say I just don't care about Maestro. I don't need to see him jerk off on camera for 3 hours. It's
I
fine.
mean, although that would be...
If it was actually that, I mean, that would be...
Something?
For 3 hours. And what else is happening?
Right, it's
I
like an
don't
Andy
know.
Warhol movie.
Right? Yeah.
He's getting that Oscar. I mean, he paid for it, so
He
you might as well collect on it.
He is doing, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't think we have enough hot dogs.